Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I am Arif, your cloud learning journey partner. In today's video, we're going to discuss a very important question that is for your new business. What kind of infrastructure is good for you? Is it cloud computing infrastructure or is it on-prem? So this is a long debate, but today we're gonna come to a conclusion of this question. So before starting the video, I just want to talk about myself. Well, I'm Arif. I do have more than 8 years of experience in cloud computing and cybersecurity. I hold multiple certification in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Beside that, I also hold CISSP and CCSP certification. Well, this channel is all about cloud computing and cybersecurity, and if you are interested in this field, this channel is definitely for you. I'm gonna upload a tons of videos related to this topic, so please like and subscribe to my channel so that you can see my upcoming videos. So let's explore the pros and cons for both options, and after that we will come to decision with which one option is a good fit for your business. So before we start the discussion, first let's make sure we do understand well what do we mean by cloud computing infrastructure and what do we mean by on-prem infrastructure. Well, we'll start with the cloud computing infrastructure. So whenever we are referring cloud computing infrastructure, that means to run the application, the server, the storage, the network connectivity, all will be served over the internet. So what do we mean by that? So that means there is a third-party company, we can call it cloud service provider, CSP, and from them we are getting some sort of subscription to use those resources so that we can host our application inside of this resource. So that's cloud computing. And whenever we're talking about cloud computing, the main three names that always comes to our mind is Amazon Web Service, AWS. The second one is Microsoft Azure, and the third one is Google Cloud. These three are the industry leader in cloud computing field. So whenever we are dealing with any cloud computing resources, pretty much like we're dealing with any one of these three. So that's a cloud computing infrastructure. Whenever we're talking about on-prem infrastructure, that means we are purchasing server rack, we are purchasing storage, and we are managing everything from our end. So here we have to be 100% sure that the uptime and everything is pretty stable way, because it's us who is managing the hardware to host the application. So first let's discuss about the pros and cons of using cloud computing infrastructure. Well, let's start with the pros. There are tons of benefits of using cloud computing. The first one that I want to mention is scalability. So suppose you have launched a new application and it got a instant hit, and people from all around the world, million users, they are just using your application. And if you're using cloud computing resources, you're in a good state, because your application can scale at any time, because you can set load balancer, auto scaling in front of your application configuration, and your application can handle any amount of traffic. Isn't it cool? That's the first benefit. And the second benefit is the cost efficient. Well, at the very beginning of your application development, you are not quite sure like how much resources are needed for running the application, and you are doing all the guessing work. So in this part, cloud computing can help you, because you can just deploy your application in a very small server or something like that, and from there you can monitor all the resource usage, and if it's not enough, you can always expand it, you can always scale up. So in this way you can save some extra cost. But if you are using on-prem infrastructure, once you buy a server rack, the power is almost limited. You can't scale up after purchasing. So there are some drawbacks of that. And number three that I want to mention as a pros of cloud computing is that it's accessible from anywhere. What do I mean by that? That means once your application is up and running, then you can use it from any part of the world. So isn't it beautiful? Because the network, the edge location, everything is set up from the cloud computing resources side. In this way, your application is available to all the users all around the world. There are also some drawbacks of using cloud computing infrastructures. I will list down few. The first one in the list is dependency. So suppose if you're hosting your application on cloud and you're using one particular region to host your application, and one day you found that the whole region is down, so that means your application is down too. So you are highly dependent on cloud computing resources, the cloud computing service provider. So you really need to be very cautious whenever you're using cloud infrastructure. You need to have a proper DR plan and proper backups. Other than that, you will be in a very bad state. That's the first drawback. The second drawback is the ongoing cost. So earlier I mentioned that the cost can be saved, but what if you are not managing the resources well? Suppose your application requires some resources, but you are over allocating stuff, and if you think about it at the back end, some other people are also managing your infrastructure for you. So there should be some subscription costs, and if you are not proactive to manage these resources, if you don't optimize the cost of your cloud resources, your application, it will add up, that's for sure. And in a few months you will see like there's a big billing from cloud provider side. So you really have to be very proactive to control this ongoing cost of cloud resources. Well, the last option I want to mention is the security concern. So whenever you're hosting your application in a cloud environment, you are pretty much using the shared resources. And that means like in a single server rack or in a single infrastructure, multiple applications are running from multiple companies. So if the security part is not taken care of in a very well mannered, it's very likely that there be some sort of data breach. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of on-prem infrastructure. Well, there are some benefits of using on-prem infrastructure. I can mention you will have the complete control over your infrastructure. So you know exactly how things are set up, and you can tailor the security aspect, the scalability aspect, and everything by your own. So you are not dependent to any other third party. That's good. And also it enhances the security in some way. That is your data, your critical data, all are under your control, under your infrastructure. So that means there are very less chances that some security incident is happening that you are not well aware of. There are some negative side of using on-prem infrastructure. The first one is the initial cost. So whenever you want to use an on-prem infrastructure, first you need to purchase all the server racks, the network cables, and everything. So you have to pay you have to spend a good amount of money to purchase those. So it's all our capex. So capex is very high for on-prem infrastructure. And the second drawback is the scalability issue. So whenever you are hosting your application in on-prem infrastructure, that means your server power is limited. So suppose your server is able to handle 10,000 requests, and all of a sudden there is like 25,000 of requests. You can't handle those extra requests because your server is not powerful enough to handle those. So then you will face the bottleneck. And the third number I can mention is the maintenance burden. So whenever you are hosting something under a cloud infrastructure, the backend servers, the databases, and everything will be managed from the third party, that is a cloud service provider. But when you're doing it by yourself, then you need to hire new people to handle the network connectivity, the security stuff, and all the things that are required to run a data center. So it will definitely add up, and you have to pay more for those maintenance stuff. So now the big questions come up, that is which one is the best suit for the business? Well, there are a lot of moving variables for it. It depends on multiple situations, like your budget, your requirement, and what sort of flexibility you want from your infrastructure. So if you want to have the benefits like scalability, want to have less capex, and if you want to make sure that your application is always available to you, then cloud computing is definitely a winner. But for your situation, if you feel like using like hosting your application in a more secured manner in a data center will enhance your security, or your application requires a spatial environment that you can build on your on-prem data center, then definitely on-prem infrastructure is for you. Well, this is one way, and the other way to look at this situation is that most of the companies nowadays, they are using both. What I mean by using both, that means they're using on-prem infrastructure and also cloud infrastructure, and in IT terms we call it a hybrid situation. In hybrid infrastructure, what we do, so we put some of the data, some of the infrastructure in the cloud infrastructure that we want to have those benefits like auto scaling, the cost optimization stuff, and the more sensitive stuff we put in our private data center locally. So here we will have both of the benefits. It's always a smarter way to handle the situation. So if you ask me which option to choose, I would suggest first start with one, but after you get some maturity of your application, then you should go for this hybrid infrastructure solution. So here we go. So now we do have an answer which infrastructure is good for our business, whether it's on-prem or it's cloud computing. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions related to the discussion that we had today, please let me know under this comment section, and I'm gonna reply back in a very short period of time. Well, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel so that you can see my upcoming videos, or you want me to cover any specific topic related to IT, also let me know under this comment section and I'll cover that for you. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining.